So before we get started, check out the following links in the description box below as highlighted in the image shown. So you'll be able to get our past papers, our link to our official website, link to accreditations, our link to donation page, and contact details in the description. So once you'll be watching a certain video of any lesson or of any past paper, you'll be able to get all these links, and you can be able to get to download past papers, to reach to our official website. You'll be able to see links to our accreditations so that you can see which authorities have accredited us. You'll be able to reach to our donation page as well as our contact details. So question 5 of our November 2023 5A. Question 5A states, analyze the goals of using cognitive behavioral coaching model. So what is cognitive behavioral coaching model? They say behavioral coaching models are designed to achieve several key goals, primarily aimed at enhancing the individual and the organizational performance by fostering positive change. The specific goals can vary depending on the context and the individual involved, but generally the goals include: number 1, to improve performance. Behavioral coaching model will always help employees to improve performance, because we said it's a model that will always help you to match your career or the roles that you do and the behaviors that you need to have. So the moment you align your behavior and your occupation or your job, definitely you'll always exhibit the right behaviors, you'll have the right attitude, you'll have the right skills, and basically you'll always improve in terms of performance. Another goal, it will also help you to build self-awareness. You'll be able to understand your roles, weaknesses, strengths, behaviors, motivation, so that you can adjust accordingly. If you feel that, no, I'm not having the right attitude towards this, I'm not having the right behavior towards this, you adjust accordingly. So behavioral coaching model will always help you to build self-awareness and act appropriately when needed. It will also help you to facilitate behavior change. The moment you really understand, and the moment you really know that I don't have the necessary attitude for the job, I don't have the necessary skill for the job, I don't have the necessary behaviors for the job, you'll try to transit. You'll have a transition from negative to positive. And the moment you have this transition from negative to positive, that means your behavior will change, your attitude will change, your way of thinking will change, and that will become an advantage. So behavioral model will always facilitate behavior change. And then another goal, enhancing skills and competences through the instilling of the right behaviors to the people or to the employees using the model, instilling of the right skills, instilling of the right competences, instilling of the right attitudes. That will always enhance the skills and competence of people within the organization. That is also a goal of behavioral model. Another goal is it increases motivation and engagement. Since it's a model that will always help you realize your good side and run away from the bad side, it will always help you in terms of motivation. It will always motivate you as a worker, because you know that once I look at this model, it transforms me to become a better version of myself. It transforms me to become a better person in terms of productivity, in terms of performance. So because of that, such a model increases the motivation and engagement of the employees. So another goal, another objective of organizations using the behavioral model is basically because they want to increase, or they want to boost the level of motivation, the level of engagement that employees have within the organization. And then also supporting personal and professional growth. Yes, behavioral model will always support personal growth. It will always support professional growth as well as career growth, because it is a model that looks forward to transit people from negative to positive, from having bad attitude, bad habit, bad personality to good. And because of that, it supports the employees and it helps them to develop personally, professionally, and career-wise. And then also it improves interpersonal relationships because it is a model that looks to instill the right behaviors within the employees. So having employees with the right behaviors, that means conflicts will be reduced, people will be able to accommodate one another, and that will improve the level of relationship that is there between employees or between people within the organization or the workplace. And then also it enhances well-being. That is also another goal of behavioral model. Behavioral model enhances well-being because it helps you as a person to grow. It helps you as a person to fully understand yourself, self-awareness, and because of that, you will really know how to handle yourself. You will really know when to adjust. You will really know when to change. And because of that, you become a good person. You relate well with people, no conflicts with people, good understanding between people, and that enhances you as a person. It enhances your well-being. That is also a goal of behavioral model. And then we also have driving organizational change because it looks forward to ensure that people have the exact kind of characters, have the exact kind of behavior that is needed for their jobs, for their roles, and because of that, organization will always be realizing its goals. The organization will always be realizing its objectives, and that will bring about organizational change as well. So those are some of the goals that we have for behavioral coaching model. So that is question 5A. Question 5B, it says, Josh, a counselor at QZN company, has been conducting one-on-one counseling to employees. Explain ways in which the counseling experience can be terminated positively. So you are the counselor who has been doing a one-on-one or more so face-to-face counseling with your clients. So you want to terminate the relationship, or you want to terminate the counseling process because you feel it's a high time. How do you ensure, or what are some of the things do you do to ensure that you terminate the process effectively? So here are some of the ways in which counseling experience can be terminated positively. 1, prepare your client. Do not make it an abrupt thing. You wake up and you say, we are done. No, prepare your clients for termination. Let them know that in this day, in this time, in this place will be winding up. So prepare your clients for termination. Also plan for the termination, and don't plan for it alone. Plan with your client so that the client will also know that indeed we are somewhere there. So plan the termination with the clients and agree on the dates and agree on the schedules and so on and so forth. That is also another way of terminating it appropriately or positively. And then set goals, whereby these goals you're going to use them as the finish line, so that once the goals have been achieved, you agree that once we achieve all these goals, then that means we'll be good to go. We can be in a position to end the process, so that now from there, you basically try to maneuver and even grow further. So always set goals and make the client understand that those goals will mark your finish line, so that when all the goals have been achieved, then that calls the end of the termination of the counseling process. And then also gauge the readiness of your client. How ready is he for you to terminate? When you try to gauge and you feel that this person is not ready for me to terminate the contract, then prepare him and maybe extend a bit so that you give him time to accept that indeed we are done and we have to call it quit. So gauge the readiness of your clients for the termination and act accordingly, according to the findings that you'll have got, or according to the information that you'll have gotten from the gauge that you make. And then also avoid abrupt termination. I've said earlier, plan for it. Do not make it abrupt. Plan for it so that both of you know when it reaches this point, we'll be wrapping up. So avoid abrupt termination, and this can only be achieved through planning and preparing your clients earlier in advance. That can also help you do it positively and effectively. And then also you review gains made in the therapy or in the counseling process. Through reviewing the gains, you sit down with the client and tell them, I see you've improved in this area. You had issues here, you've improved. You had issues there, you have improved, and I see you are fit to go. We are good to go, so we can wrap up, so that from here, I'll just be following up to check how you are doing it. But basically, you can stand on your own from here we have reached, and from what I can see. So use gains to terminate. At least by doing so, you'll be motivating and empowering your client, rather than calling it quit abruptly or without planning, or without even trying to make your client to become ready for the termination. So at least when you review the gains made in the counseling process as you terminate, it's another way of doing the termination in a very effective and positive way. So those are some of the guidelines that a counselor may use to ensure that he terminates his contract with the clients in a very efficient and effective way. So that is number 5. Thank you. You can enroll with us. Feel free to reach out using the details you see on your screen. That way, we have that website, we have WhatsApp numbers, we have the email address and the physical address. You can use any of the contact there to reach out to us, and we'll always be available and ready to help you. So thank you. Let's meet in our next session.